Hello. Hi, who's in? Okay. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I can see someone in. Happy New Year. Okay. So today we are going to go on to the next step as we're getting ready for the year. We're getting ready in a very unique way this time. As much as possible, I want everybody to be a part of this year's mental health awareness, mental illness destigmatization effort. So welcome. I'm glad to have everyone here. Thank you for joining me. It's a beautiful Saturday and I'm glad to be here. So yes, all right. So it's if you are watching on my personal profile or if you're watching on the page or anywhere else, I am going to put everything all together in the group right now. Okay, so please join us in the group and be a part of this plan. We would like to have you. All right, so hello everyone. Let's do this. Now, 2022, we're focusing on mental illness. We're focusing on mental illness stigma. We are all out against mental illness stigma. All that we're going to be doing, most of it, the efforts will be towards two major goals. The first goal is leaders' mental health. Okay, as we're talking about as we're talking about mental health globally, as we're talking about mental health statewide, as we're talking about mental health nationally, and even in our communities and in our homes and in our own lives ourselves, as we are talking about mental health, we want to focus on leaders because most people, almost everywhere that you'll be hearing about mental health, the goal is to help your employees do something. How can you help people? But we're forgetting that the load, the workload, the responsibility, the decisions, all the things that leaders also have to do puts a lot of pressure on them. So we focus on leaders' mental health to support leaders, to give leaders the tools they need so that they are healthy enough, they value mental health enough to put something that is impactful in place for everybody whose their decisions affect. Okay, so welcome. If you're in, say hello to me so that I can acknowledge you. I'm always glad to have everyone here. Please, if you haven't given StreamYard the permission to show your name, go ahead and do so by clicking that link, and I'll be able to see you here in the studio. All right, that's the first effort, leaders' mental health. The second goal is to decrease mental illness stigma. A lot of times we talk about mental illness and mental health, we say them interchangeably, but they're really two different things. We all need to be mentally healthy. Everyone at every stage of our life, we need to be mentally healthy. However, there are some people who have one mental illness at one time or the other in their lives, or some people even have it chronically. So, whichever one it is, we are focusing on mental illness destigmatization. And so here's the plan, and here's what we want to do. So I had a list that I wanted us to work with. I have an idea of, hey, these are the topics that if we'll know more about those topics, it's going to help us to understand what people who might be going through these things are experiencing and support them. And also to know why we should mind our words, mind our language, and not directly or indirectly continue to promote mental illness stigma. So I threw it in here. I said, okay, let the group members come up with one topic that they would like to know about, and we'll see how to, we're going to pick 8 for the year. We'll pick 8 of them. And I have this group members turn in their own illnesses they want to talk about. We had someone, Dr. Ruth, she wanted us to talk about ADHD. We have Deborah wanted us to talk about trauma and anxiety. We have anxiety coming up. Anxiety, I actually came up more than any other topic. And these are the ones we had. Trauma and anxiety, depression. We had obsessive compulsive and related disorders. Anxiety just kept on coming up. And thankfully, somebody wanted to us to talk about Alzheimer's disease and bipolar disorder. I wanted us to talk about sleep disorder because I hear so many people talk about. I hear a lot of comments. I read a lot of stories that relates to sleep disorders, and we don't talk about this much. So these are the topics we're going to be talking about based on what people selected, and we'll talk about them. Depressive disorders. People say depression all the time. It's like we just talk about depression. Well, we have that umbrella that has depressive disorders under them. So we'll have depressive disorders, all the basic things we need to know. And then to know, is a major depressive disorder? Do we have adjustment disorders with depressed episode? All the sort of things I will give us information about it. Anxiety disorders. Everybody talk about, I have anxiety. We have anxiety disorders, and they're different diagnoses or disorders that we have under that umbrella. Anxiety disorder. Do you have phobia? Is it panic attack? Do you have generalized anxiety disorder? Do you have anxiety for a particular thing? There are different types of anxiety disorder, and I will shed light on those ones too. Now, somebody said Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is one of many dementias, and dementia itself falls under an umbrella that we call neurocognitive disorder. So I put it there, and we're going to focus on dementia, and then we'll focus on Alzheimer's whenever it's time. Bipolar disorder. A lot of people, we use this word bipolar a lot. He's bipolar, she's bipolar everywhere. Whenever we talk about bipolar disorder, we're going to see this is what bipolar disorder is, and will tell us the other things that fall under bipolar disorder. Okay, then someone mentioned trauma. If you saw, I think, who said trauma here? I believe it's yes, Miss Deborah Sheribu said trauma. So we have trauma and stress related disorders. So people talk a lot about PTSD. Oh, I have PTSDs. You would also hear things like CPTSD, chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. You hear also, I will shed light on that when we talk about trauma and stress-related disorders. Now, one member mentioned ASD. I'm guessing that is autism spectrum disorder. And another person, Dr. Ruth, wanted ADHD. So these ones, they fall under the neurodevelopmental disorders. So we're going to also treat autism spectrum disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. Here, it's like a big deal. A lot of people say, I have ADHD. When they can't focus on something, any little thing is going on, it's I have ADHD. What does it mean to have ADHD? I will shed light on it. And also the another major issue with ADHD is the treatment. This is, do I want a stimulant? This is what you should give me. When we talk about, there's even a different kind of stigma for ADHD. Among practitioners, there's this ADHD has its own burden. We'll talk about it. And when we're talking to leaders, a lot of people working in a corporate environment, doing a lot of businesses, all those things, we'll talk about ADHD as selected. And we have OCD. That's another one. Everybody that is neat, everyone who is organized, everyone who likes things arranged well. It's almost like a medal. People like to say ADHD as if it's like I hear it in light of being you are such a perfect person. And some people talk about it in such like it bothers me. But what is OCD really about? What does it mean? And how should we use it? Knowing more about these disorders will help us understand why we should be saying some things and not say some things, and how we should help people going through these issues. So OCD is another one, and then sleep disorders. And I put sleep disorders and eating disorders. We are not Sleeping disorder is it's almost at an epidemic level right now, especially among teenagers, among youths, adolescents, females. We have a lot of issues going on with eating, and some of us, we don't pay attention to it, but there's so many people having eating disorders. Knowing about this thing, why we're talking about this, is to help us understand, with the goal of decreasing stigma. Some of us would realize that we even have mental illness, we even have mental issues going on that we're taking for granted, or we're not paying attention to because of our ignorance, just because we don't know. But we shouldn't keep hurting people who need treatment, or who are seeking treatment, or currently going through any kind of treatment. We should not keep hurting them because of our ignorance. So these are the chosen topics for us to know more about, so that we can help decrease stigma. Now, I singled out some industries that we're going to focus on for leaders. We have leaders in these industries going through peculiar kind of mental health challenges. So business owners, entrepreneurs, you are getting our attention. Those in corporate organizations, and organizations in all our downtowns everywhere, you have your own peculiar mental health challenges. We're going to highlight them. Political leaders, leaders in the academic sectors, the professors, the PhD holders, the supervisors, the PhD chair, the all these ones, all these industries, we are going to put the spotlight on them and give them tips on how they can support their mental health, and also challenge them to put a mental health system in place for that sector. So all these industries you're seeing, the entertainment industry, these people, their own challenges also peculiar. But the thing is, for them, they even need to know more, because they kind of set trends, they set the pace. They tell the society what is going on now. Oh, this is the song, this is the slang, this is the dressing, these are the words that we're going to use now. We need them to know, we need to know what they're going through, what's going on in their closet, what's going on, when they're showing up for all these tours and all these shows. They also have their mental health challenges. Religious leaders are in a particularly tight situation. They are I have someone here saying, "Oh, my mom has vascular dementia." Oh, thanks for sharing that. Exactly. So, Alzheimer's is one type of dementia, and your mom has a vascular dementia. You can imagine how much support we can get when people understand that this is happening, that these things are out there, and not to stigmatize, so that it makes life easier for those of us going through one challenge or the other. So thanks for sharing that. So back to the leaders, religious leaders, because of they are in such high position in the society and in the lives of people, that it's really important what they say, what they do, how they act, what they express when it comes to their own mental health. And they need that support too. They need to know bits and pieces and tips of how to support their mental health, and even how to seek help, and in turn how to help people around them. So, religious leaders, legal practitioners, we're coming to you. And last but not the least, we, the owner of this health issue, we, the people in the healthcare sector, doctors, nurses, lab technicians, pharmacists, our wards, everybody in the healthcare industry. We are the ones that we believe we know, because we have that degree, because we work in that environment, because we have 12 years experience working on this floor. We have 50 years experience, doing this over and over again. And we have this is how we do it thing. And we seem to be like self-sufficient. It's like we are good. The healthcare industry, we have our struggles, we need help, and we need to know that we need help, so that we can start doing what we need to do to support our mental health as much as possible, and to keep supporting people as well. So, okay, so those are the the things that we will be talking about, the 8 topics, the 8 industries we're going to focus on. And then let me see what I have next. Yes. So here's the plan. Here's the plan. The plan is every month we'll pick one topic, one industry. We'll pick the topic, we'll pick the industry, we'll talk about it. We'll do, the leaders. We're going to have 2 weeks for the leaders, and we'll have 2 weeks for the illness that we'll talk about. And with the leaders, we are dedicating time to special guests on the show as usual. And the guests we're going to be having this year are not necessarily, we won't focus necessarily on experts. We want to focus on those who would share their story. Mental health awareness is so important. Mental health, mental illness destigmatization is such a priority, because it is affecting every one of us. If a close family member of mine has alcohol dependency issue, or any addictive disorder, I don't want people to know. It is a struggle. It is a struggle. I want to keep this. This should be our family secret. Nobody should know that we have someone with schizophrenia in the house. Nobody should know that my dad is dependent on this. Nobody should know that my mom is this. Nobody should know that my wife is going through that. And because of the negative attachments, because of the negative image we have for mental illnesses, we don't want people to know. So we keep this thing. So we delay treatment, because you do not want a psychiatrist on your care team. I'm not crazy. I'm not mad. Don't give me happy pills. Don't give me this. That medication makes them fat and ugly. That medication, this medication turns them into zombies. I do not want to be a zombie. God forbid that I have to be on that medication. And you find us telling other people, hey, once you start that medication, you're going to be on it for life. As if people are not on medications for diabetes or hypertension or gout or even maybe HIV/AIDS. People are on medication for different things for their health, but if it's mental, anything that relates to mental illness, we meet it straight away with negativity, with bad energy, with discouragement, and it's affecting our lives everywhere, every day. So, this husband, this wife, this child, this parent is not living life to the fullest because they cannot seek treatment for a treatable illness. Depression. People don't want to use medication for depression because I don't want to turn into a zombie. I don't want to get fat. I don't want people looking at me. I don't want to be taking this. Because of all these issues, people are not seeking help. People would not want to take their medication. Then we find lives being lost, productivity going down, children dropping out of school because they cannot cope. And parents don't want to go take this child to a psychiatrist because we are not mad in our family. It's affecting us all over. All over. Stigma is killing, is hurting. Stigma is devastating lives, families, futures, potentials. We need to do something. So if we have those who have experienced it, if we have those who are going through one mental health challenge or the other, if we have those who had gone to rehab and come back, if we have those who have the success story to tell, or even if it's the story of the struggle right now, even if it is the call for help right now, if we have people like that, we want them to come and share their story. We want to listen. I want you to see. I see patients every day. I see doctors, lawyers, accountants, political people in political positions, children, parents, husband, wife, grandmas. I see patients every day. But I want us to also see people like myself, like you, those of us watching me. I don't know what you're going through, but I've gone through my own depressive episode before. And when somebody says, I feel depressed, it's just dark. I understand what they mean. I know that it's not just a temporary sadness that they're talking about. And I don't take it lightly. So we need people to come and share their story. If you know anyone that want to share their story, please let them reach out to me. We'll create a platform for them here to be heard, to share their story, to get their own energy out from within, to help other people struggling, and to shame everyone that keeps stigmatizing and keeps living in their dark world of ignorance when it comes to mental health. So please share your story if you have one. I know, I am very, very sure that lives change. Even if people don't make comments, if they don't say anything, you are helping a family, a life, somebody's future, somebody's potential somewhere. You want to share your story, please come. So we'll have guests sharing their story. Another kind of guests we're going to have are leaders who are doing something. We want those who are doing something, leaders promoting mental health or destigmatization or destigmatizing mental illnesses. They're doing something. Oh, this is a leader. My boss at work, he put this thing in place so that we'll do that. Or, oh, my boss at work, a leader, or an organization, or a company, a church promoting mental health. We want people to know. We want people to see them. We want people to applaud them. We want people to say thank you to them. Because these are the little things. They are seemingly little things impacting people's lives in big ways. Do you know any organization? Is your company doing something? Is your boss doing something? Please, let's put the spotlight on them. Okay? As we're shaming those promoting stigma, let us put the spotlight on those who are actually doing something. Yes, so I think that's it. Oh yes. Now the the stigma tagline. I want us to do something, and that's why I'm keeping this within the group for as long as we get everything right. And I can make my decision. I can say these are the things we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. In fact, I have the plan already. But I want it to be a collective effort. I want it to be a my mental health matters effort. I want everybody to feel like they belong. When you like something, when you make comment, when you make a suggestion, you are doing your part. So if you have an idea, share it, please. That's your own little way of promoting mental health awareness. Okay. Bukola Abdullahi, he suggested we have stigma is brutal. After writing this, then he said, oh, stigma is brutal, but I think brutal sounds brutal. He said it in a very funny way. So that's one. I'll put this up for votes next week. We'll pick one so that we'll make it the tagline for the year against mental illness stigma. I have had this in my mind. Stigma stinks. Stop it. I even at some point had stigma stinks. Let's flush it out. Or stigma stinks. Stop it. That is what came to my mind. I also thought of shame stigma now. It hurts. That's another tagline that came to my mind. And then we have Deborah. She came up with different end mental illness stigma now. Say no to mental illness stigma. Love to heal campaign. Then Miss Oiko Odebumi, she came up with hashtag end mental illness stigma now. That's also nice. My very good friend Bukola Oyewole Bamidele, she came up with say no to mental illness stigma. These are the things we have. What do you think? Do you have a different one in mind? We'll just make it the tagline. We're going to fly with it from February, and it will be, we'll own it, we'll share it, we'll talk about it, we'll promote it to increase that awareness and really drive down mental illness stigma. We need to do it. This year, that's the effort. That's the effort. That's what we're doing. And I ended it here that we need all hands on deck on this matter. Are you in? You in? Are you in on this? Let's do this, okay? It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's do it, okay? Let's do it. We decrease stigma, we increase awareness, and we'll save lives. And we'll also have the joy, the energy, the fulfillment that we've done our part. Okay, there's so many people in the world doing different things. So many people need help. The trees need to be saved. Animals need to be saved. The ocean needs to be cleaned. We need sustainable energy. We need people to work on awareness of prostate cancer. We need people to help children. We need people to help children going through different things. There's so many things that the world just needs to heal. But I have chosen mental health. You are here with me. Mental health is something that affects all our lives. Now is the time. This is the opportunity for you and I to do something. I'm here to support. We'll keep going. I need your support as much as possible. I need your support as much as possible so that we can help people out there, at least to make it okay not to be okay, to make it okay to seek help, to make it okay not to be a monster because we have one mental illness or the other. So say no to mental health stigma. Say no. Say no to it. Say yes to awareness and support. And the sky is not, it's only the starting point for us. So to everyone watching me right now, thank you. And to everyone who also will be watching the replay, thank you. You can put hashtag replay if you're watching this. Let me know. Do you have an idea? Do you know somebody that should share a story? Do you know an organization? Do you want to share your story? Let me know. We'll get to it. And February, we'll get right to work. We'll get right to work. So invite people, share tag people, your friends on this video, and let us get going. Okay? So thank you for joining. I'll see you next week. And we're going to have a great time. Okay? My mental health matters. Your mental health matters as well. Act like it does. Okay? All right. Thank you for joining. Bye bye. See you next week. Thank you. Thank you.